Today, I've taken a little walk out to Nanataki Falls. It's January 25th, and normally it would be completely frozen by now. This year we've had some unstable weather, so we'll see. Higher up, the wind is really strong today, and it's snowing a fair bit, and so it is dangerous conditions to go hiking on a real mountain. So hiking out to a snowy waterfall through the forest, which is relatively protected from the wind and the snow, is perfect for today. Some of you may have noticed I've been using a different camera lately. I mean, not right now, obviously. I got a new DJI Osmo 3, and it's really nice, actually, but it's not waterproof. And so for days like this, where it's snowing quite a bit, I go back to the old, reliable GoPro. It's not as beautiful as some other cameras, but it certainly is durable. It's sturdy, takes a beating. I've accidentally thrown it a number of times, and it's just fine. And of course, it's completely waterproof. You can stick it underwater. It is a wonderful snowy afternoon in Hachimantai. Today I'm just taking a brief walk out to Nanataki Falls from the Kenminmori, the prefectural citizens forest, I guess you translate it to, a campsite kind of near the mountain hotel near Shimokura in Hachimantai. There's a pin in the video description, of course, and it's a really casual, nice walk. It's 2.8 kilometers each way with not much ascent. You go up a little bit, but it's not too bad. So about 6 kilometers total, roughly, including a little bit of exploring and shuffling around to either side of the trail. And the nice thing about this hike in the wintertime is that when the weather is too dangerous to go somewhere else, like today, this would be dangerous on a mountain summit or trying to go up high with the strong winds we've got up high as well as all this snow. But for just a walk through the woods to see a frozen waterfall, it's perfect. And also, there are generally, just about every day, a fair number of people walking along this trail. So even if you don't have all the GPS maps downloaded to your phone, etc., there is almost always a pretty easy to follow path that leads you right to the waterfall here. I've already passed 3 people who went here earlier today, and this winter especially, it's, I don't know, from what I see, people come here pretty much every day, even in bad weather. So I really recommend this spot. And just like that, we're almost there. I love how the forest changes here based on how they replanted the trees. It suddenly becomes a nice, dark, almost medieval feeling wood, like something out of a grim fairy tale. Wouldn't be too surprising no matter what jumped out from behind one of these trees. And just like that, here we are at Nanataki Falls. And despite the fact that it is January 25th, it's hardly half frozen, not even. In the wintertime, well, and in summer as well, you can go right down to the waterfall, which is where I'm going. It's a bit treacherous, a little bit slippery, so you want to watch your footing. Take off your snowshoes if you were wearing them. But today, it's actually pretty easy to walk. And I'm afraid that the era of ice falls here in Hachimantai might be finished. It's not frozen now, it's not going to freeze this year, it didn't freeze last year. I think maybe with the climate change, we don't have the stable cold temperatures necessary to make ice falls anymore. Maybe for the time being, it'll be an extraordinarily rare event for the waterfall to freeze. Sad to say it, but kind of seems like it. Still is beautiful though, even only partially frozen. But take a look at past years. I have, of course, come here and made multiple videos here before, and you can see what it would look like during a better year. Even though I was a little bit disappointed about the reminders of climate change and the fact that the waterfall isn't frozen, it's impossible to feel down for long when you're just standing out here amidst all these trees with all this snow. It just gives me a deep sense of happiness from my chest just being out here. I don't know what it is, but it's nice. And so, yeah, just appreciate what there is to appreciate, and yeah, it's the best we can do, right? And you never know, there could be good things coming that we don't know about. Doesn't hurt to be optimistic. This is just my second time coming out to Nanataki Falls this season, this winter. Last time was, I believe, in December. And it is, if anything, less frozen than it was in December. This makes me worried that from now on, we're not going to see Nanataki Falls as a completely frozen ice falls in the near future, any time in the next several years. It seems like it gets really cold, but then it gets really warm, and then cold again, warm again, cold again. We don't have that prolonged -10, and below temperature that it requires to make the gorgeous ice falls that you saw in previous years. And so, kind of the end of an era. It's makes me sad, but it is beautiful, even half frozen, and yeah, I guess it makes you appreciate all the different amazing features of the winter now, because how much longer do we have even this? Over the last 4 years now, I've made several videos coming out to Nanataki Falls, and I've filmed myself coming out here a lot more times than I actually published videos. And yeah, this is the least that it's ever been frozen in this season, and though last year it didn't freeze either, and so it looks like it's becoming a trend that the waterfall isn't completely freezing anymore with the warm spells that we seem to always be having in the middle of winter. Like cold and warm, it'll rain in January, and so maybe it'll only be once every 5 or 10 years that we get a beautiful frozen ice waterfall anymore. And the Dragon Eye up in Hachimantai, melting in just the right way to create that gorgeous formation, maybe that too is more or less a thing of the past. We'll see. I hate to be a downer, but yeah, the instability, the climate chaos that we seem to be facing, yeah, I guess it is what it is. It makes me a little sad, but still, despite all that, it is wonderful to be out here in the woods. There's still snow falling all around me. The creaking of these big conifers all over the place in the wind is still wonderful, and I feel really lucky to be able to appreciate what still is here. And I guess I shouldn't be picky about a waterfall being completely frozen or not. It's still a gorgeous mountain, a perfect volcano. So thanks for coming out to take a peek with me today at Nanataki Falls, here at the northern base of Mount Iwate. I'm just gonna zip back to the car here through the forest, but I'm gonna probably put the camera away and just walk and think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the trails.